Once upon a time, in a cozy little house, lived a kind lady who was very lonely. More than anything in the world, she wished for a little daughter to love. One morning, as she was watering her plants, tears streamed down her face. She thought, if only I had a little girl to share my days with. Just then, a shimmering light appeared, and a fairy godmother stood before her. "My child, why are you crying?" she asked gently. The lady sobbed. "Oh, I've set my heart upon having a little girl, but I don't know where to find one." The fairy smiled warmly. "Don't you worry, that can be easily managed." With a wave of her magic wand, a single, special seed appeared in the fairy's hand. "This is no ordinary seed," she exclaimed. "It needs lots of love, warmth, and sunlight. Plant it in a flower pot and see what happens." The lady was overjoyed. "Oh, thank you, godmother. You are so generous." She carefully planted the seed in a pot and placed it on her sunniest windowsill. She tended to it with all her love, and soon, a beautiful flower, much like a tulip, began to grow. Its petals were tightly closed. One day, the woman leaned in and softly kissed the bud. As if by magic, the flower blossomed open, and there, sitting inside, was a tiny, perfect, little maiden. "My child, my daughter." The woman whispered, her heart full. "You're no bigger than my thumb. I'll call you Thumbelina." And so, Thumbelina had a wonderful life. A polished walnut shell was her cradle, soft violet petals were her mattress, and a single rose petal was her blanket. During the day, she would float across a plate of water in a little boat made from a tulip petal, using 2 white horsehairs as oars. It was a lovely sight. But one night, as Thumbelina slept peacefully in her walnut shell, a large, ugly frog hopped through an open window. "My, how pretty she is," the frog croaked. "She'll make the perfect bride for my son." The frog snatched up the walnut shell and hopped back out into the night. She took Thumbelina to a wide pond and placed her on a large water lily leaf far from the shore. "There," she said to her son. "She'll never be able to escape us now." When Thumbelina woke up, she was all alone on the green leaf, surrounded by water. She sat down and cried, horrified at the thought of marrying the frog's dreadful son. "No way am I marrying you," she cried out to the empty air. Meanwhile, her mother searched every corner of the house, calling her name, but Thumbelina was gone. Down in the water, a group of kind little fishes had seen everything. They felt so sorry for the tiny girl. While the mother frog and her son were busy planning the wedding, the little fishes swam to the lily pad's stem. They all gathered around and nibbled until the stem broke free. The leaf began to float gently down the stream. "Thank you so much," Thumbelina called out to them. "You are all so kind." The leaf carried Thumbelina far, far away, where the frogs could never find her. She sailed past many beautiful places. Little birds in the trees saw her and chirped, "What a pretty little girl." As the sun set, she wrapped herself in a leaf to sleep. The next morning, she woke up in a beautiful meadow, where the sun made the stream sparkle like gold. Just then, a large stag beetle flew by. "What a beautiful girl," he buzzed, and before she knew it, he had grabbed her with his claws and flown high into a tree. "Where are you taking me?" she cried. "I'm taking you to my house," he declared. When they arrived, all the other beetles who lived in the tree came to see her. "Friends, look at this pretty girl. The beetle announced, "I'm going to marry her." But the other beetles weren't so impressed. "She only has 2 legs." One sneered. "What a miserable sight." Another buzzed. "And look, no antennae. How shameful. She looks just like a human. How ugly." Hearing all his friends make fun of her, the stag beetle started to think they were right. He suddenly felt embarrassed, and, in a huff, he flew down and left poor Thumbelina all alone on a daisy in the middle of the woods. The seasons changed, and soon it was winter. Snow began to fall, and the tiny girl shivered with cold. It was a terribly cold world for someone so small. She wandered through the forest, searching for food and shelter. At last, she stumbled upon a small cottage tucked under the roots of a tree. She knocked weakly on the huge door. A kindly field mouse opened it. "Who are you, you poor little thing?" she squeaked. "I'm lost in the woods," Thumbelina whispered. "I'm so cold and hungry. Could you please help me?" The field mouse's heart melted. "Of course, come in, come in. I live alone. You can share my dinner and get warm." "What's your name, dear?" "I am Thumbelina," she replied. The mouse's cottage was warm and cozy, with a storeroom full of grain. "Thank you for the food and a warm place to stay," Thumbelina said gratefully. "You can stay with me all winter," the mouse offered, charmed by Thumbelina's sweet nature. "Mrs. Mouse, you are so kind." The mouse loved having her around and secretly wished she would stay forever. "It's the weekend," the mouse announced one day, "so we shall have a visitor. My neighbor comes to see me once a week." Soon, the doorbell rang, and in waddled a mole, dressed in a fine black velvet coat. He was very rich, but couldn't see well. When he heard Thumbelina's beautiful singing voice, he fell in love instantly. He decided he must marry her. He went to the field mouse and said, "I will give you all my riches if you can convince that pretty girl to be my wife." The mouse couldn't refuse such a wealthy offer. "All right," she said. "I shall start the preparations." But Thumbelina was horrified. The thought of living underground with the mole and never seeing the sun again was unbearable. The next morning, she decided she had to run away. As she wandered through the cold woods, she found a swallow lying on the frozen ground. The poor bird looked like it had frozen. But as she got closer, she saw it was still breathing, just badly injured. "Oh, you poor thing. Are you okay?" she whispered. She saw its wing was hurt. Thumbelina, with her kind heart, found soft moss and leaves to gently bandage the bird's wing. "Don't worry, little bird," she soothed. "You'll be all right." With her care, the sparrow slowly recovered. Soon, he was strong enough to fly. "Goodbye, pretty little bird," Thumbelina said. "Thank you, pretty little child," the swallow chirped. "I will never forget you. Is there anything I can do to help you?" Just then Thumbelina heard the voices of the mouse and the mole calling her name. "Oh, Thumbelina, where are you?" they shouted. Panicked, she turned to the swallow. "The mouse wants me to marry Mr. Mole. Please, can you take me somewhere far away from here? I don't want to marry him." The swallow had a plan. "Quick, climb on my back." Thumbelina scrambled onto the bird's feathers. As they rose into the air, she called down, "Bye, Mrs. Mouse." Thank you for everything." The mole and the mouse just stared in astonishment as Thumbelina flew away into the sky. The swallow took her to a warm, sunny land filled with the most beautiful flowers she had ever seen. "This is just so beautiful," she exclaimed. "What is this place called?" "It's the Flowerland," the swallow said. "And now, it's time for me to leave." "Thank you, Mr. Swallow," she said. "You're the best." Thumbelina was so happy. This felt like home. But amidst all the beauty, she started to think of her real mother, and how she had been created from a seed with so much love. A wave of sadness washed over her. She wanted to go home. Just then, a handsome little man, no bigger than herself, appeared. He wore a tiny golden crown and had shimmering wings. He was the king of the flowers. He saw Thumbelina and fell in love at first sight. "I am the king of Flowerland," he said. "And you are the prettiest girl I have ever seen. Will you marry me and be my queen?" Thumbelina thought for a moment. This king was nothing like the frog's son or the stuffy mole. "Yes," she said, "on one condition. You must take me back to my mother, so we can all live happily together." The king gladly agreed. He gave her a wonderful wedding present, a pair of beautiful, delicate wings from a silver fly. Once they were fastened to her back, she too could fly from flower to flower. After their wedding, the king and his new queen Thumbelina flew all the way back to the little cottage with the sunny windowsill. Her mother was sitting by the window, looking sad. When she saw her tiny daughter fly in, her face lit up with joy. "Oh, Thumbelina, you don't know how happy I am to have you back. I will never let you go away from me again." "I'll never leave you," Mother Thumbelina promised, giving her a tiny hug. The mother welcomed the Flower King into her home, and the three of them lived happily ever after. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.